John, glad to be here with you guys. Hope everybody's doing good today. I know here in good old Indiana, it is nothing but raining outside. So it's a good day to jump in the airplane and fly and all that good stuff because I'm doing absolutely nothing outside today, I'll tell you that. It's been raining for the last hour and it's been coming down pretty hard. So we're going to let the rain stay out there. I'll stay in here. So let me grab somebody here that wants to listen. So, all right. So anyway, we've got a new simmer here on the stream with us. He's not been simming for not even a month, I don't think. So let's get his perspective on things. I'm gonna ask him a few questions, but first I'll introduce him. Peyton, how are you, my friend?
I am good. I am doing great.
So I got some questions for you. Number one, the first question: how did you come across the channel / the whole simming idea? Where did it start?
It first started when I went back home to Wisconsin by myself for the first time, and I was like, wow, the planes are cool. And then I started looking into planes a bit more. And then I got into Eurofly because my friend showed me it. And then I was looking at Eurofly videos. And then I found the Blind Flight Simmer, his channel. I watched his videos, and that's how I first knew of, FSX, P3D, and everything. And then I found your channel, or I found the BVI Pilots channel a while ago. And then recently I'm like, well, I really do want to fly these realistic planes. So I started watching the videos on what you were doing, and here we are now.
So you found BVI Pilots on your own, pretty much?
Yeah, basically.
That's awesome. I'm glad to know that when you went to look for us, it didn't, it wasn't like the third page down or nothing. So you put in a search for simming and you found us.
I think it just popped up in my feed one day or something.
Oh, that's really cool. At least I know that the channel's it's getting popped up out there in different places. That does make me feel better than like being a ghost, like, man, I ain't popping up anywhere. What the heck? But it's cool that you're with us, and of course, you've been downloading all kinds of different planes and adventuring with different ideas and stuff like that. And it's taken me to a comment that was left. I don't know if it's a week or 2 weeks ago. We were talking about Eurofly, and he or she, I don't know which. It's one of them names where I don't want to say it was a she because it might very well be a he. I've got a son that's got a name. That name is Jordan, but that's also a female name. You can be a male or female with that name. I've seen it. Anyway, they had said I was going to try out Eurofly, but found out that it costs $40 a month, and I got to correct you on that. Eurofly doesn't cost anything. You download it,
yeah, it's
install
free.
it, and bam, there you go. But I will tell you this from a simmer's perspective, from being on both sides of it. I've flown on Eurofly and I've flown here in P35 and on 2020. If you want the real experience of flying in a sim, Eurofly is not the place. If you want to get an idea of flying at a very far glance, Eurofly would be okay to do that because it does have some similarities. Taking off, obviously, that's somewhat similar. trying to think. So that taxiing, we can't taxi, but it gives you kind of an idea of taxiing where you've got to only on there you taxi yourself. I wish we could do that on here actually, but it's way more real. It's way more realistic. So it's much harder to say, okay, you can just take your plane and drive on down the taxiway. And then I've got the developer of TFM, and he knows. And again, I want to put this out there before I go any further, in case anybody that supports Eurofly. I don't hate Eurofly. I'm not against Eurofly, and I'm not saying Eurofly is junk. Okay, I'm putting that out there right now so nobody can throw words in my mouth, because I'm not saying that. Not at all. I've got Eurofly, so who would I be to say you suck when I've got it and I will fly on it sometimes? So I got the developer of TFM with us here as well, Andy, and matter of fact, he's the one that is responsible for getting the 7.4, where we no longer got to go into the main panel. Thank God. Thank God. Anyways, Andy, I'm going to let you throw your thoughts in on this, because I know as a programmer, you could probably understand maybe why he does it the way he did it and why it's not like what we see in the regular sim. It's just different. So, what do you think, Andy? What's your thoughts on this topic?
Can y'all hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. So as far as Eurofly goes, I mean, it's a game. I think he intended it to be that way. I don't have any programming perspective on it per se, but other than the fact that that's the way he had coded it up.
Yeah, I think he meant it to be a game, but he wanted people to see that it was, because people misunderstand it as being a sim. I think he meant a sim as in a flight simulator game.
Maybe an
a simulator game,
like
and it's
game/educational type tool.
Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah. So there's plenty of differences between, say, what P3D or even FS 2020 does and what he does. So
I got to grab my drink, so you guys keep running with this just for a few minutes, okay? Just keep on talking away.
Yep.
Will do.
So for the example of when you take off in Eurofly, you can up your pitch to 15 and it will never change.
Mm-hmm.
And in an airplane, just like even yesterday in the 47, when I took off and I pitched up to 15, it was windy and stuff like that, so my nose bobbed up and down between 12 and 18. So
right,
a little bit of a shaky takeoff, but you know, it it worked.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yep, it worked. And
I'll be right back, guys. Keep it going.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Okay.
on the note of taxiing, and that's where I said I want to put my comments in on that before it goes too far and we can't taxi yet. I say yet, but it's getting ever so close, because in the new TFM update with the new database stuff, Where Am I has one new feature, and that is if you are at the airport on the ground, but you're not not on a taxiway gate or runway, it will tell you what airport you're at.
Wow.
So, yep, for those people who miss the runway, roll off the runway, somehow get lost in the maze of gates and taxiways or whatever.
Yeah. I found myself off runways many a time. Wanted to know where the heck
it'll
am I
not
at this
tell
airport?
you like Cook County, Illinois. It'll say whatever airport you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So, ever so close. And then the idea is to take this Where Am I feature and make it so TFM will automatically announce the terrain changes.
Okay.
While you're on the ground. So for an example, when it gets to that point, then you're doing pushback and TFM can automatically announce that you're now on taxiway I or Q or whatever. And in the event that, say, you're using AI in 2020 to taxi, then it will automatically announce the taxiway changes and the fact that you have entered into the runway.
Right.
So it's one step closer to taxiing, but not quite yet.
So I guess my question is, if
All
we
right.
get to that point to where we can taxi, would we be doing this ourselves, or would we issue a hotkey command and the plane would actually do it itself?
I think you're talking a long ways out for taxiing.
Yeah, it's just a hypothetical question.
It would be yourself.
Okay.
But one thing you missed while you were gone, though, was the fact that with this new database code, the way it's laid out and set up, and some of the new cool things that we can do with it, we put in a thing where if you're not on a taxiway gate or runway and you're on the ground, then TFM tells you when you ask it, it will tell you that you're at the airport.
Yeah.
It'll say something like at JFK, and if you're outside the bounds of the airport, it will say something like not at an airport.
Yeah, because when I landed, was it this flight or the other one? No, I think this flight tells you the right runway information. I think a few of the runways might not, but anyway, I've seen that where it would just say at LAX,
say at JFK
or at JFK.
Yeah, that's the newest update. So
yeah, and it's a good feature to know about. I mean, it lets you know that you landed and that your flight's acceptable. I mean, as long as you got a good landing rate, then hey, you can go ahead and submit this. You're good. You're at the airport.
Yeah, yep. And this rolls out to a new goal because of the way this database was built. We don't have to request, we don't have to calculate your current position anymore. We just ask the database, where are you located?
Yeah. And I think...
And it gives us...
Oh, that's nice.
And it gives us different things, different pieces of the airport where you might be located. And so, since the code is simpler, we can possibly even make it where TFM will automatically tell you the terrain changes while you're on the ground at the airport. So,
very nice.
If you're doing pushback from a gate, then all of a sudden TFM might say on taxiway I.
Now that'd be cool. And you know what? Think about that though. Think about that. As a programmer, I'm sure you have. If I've thought about it, you've thought about it. If it can say on taxi I or J or whatever,
I or J,
that is a step
whatever,
closer to taxiing.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea. Because if it will automatically announce terrain changes on the ground, then that's one step closer to a taxi.
Now, Peyton, let's talk to you again just for a second here. All this stuff that you're hearing, what does that do for you? Does it sound confusing? Does it sound like, oh wow, this is freaking awesome? I can't wait to jump in one of these paywares. Like, what is your thoughts looking at payware the way that we do? I mean, if you look at me or Andy, Brandon, not to throw you out here, but I have to because you've not done it yet. We would be considered as maybe not professionals, but very well experienced in flying in payware. So, what does it tell you? Even Brandon, even you, not as a new simmer, but you've never been in payware, and you're seeing all these
Not
things. Peyton, start with you. What are your thoughts? Seeing all this stuff that we can do.
That's pretty cool. Um, it's definitely pretty cool that the paywars have a lot more realism
I mean, I got to be
with
honest
them.
here. I
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, um, my only thing is, especially with like, as we talked about the prices for like the sound or the things for like PMDG, the 737 and the 747. You know,
Um,
it's just like a lot because you also have to like get it. Like, see, what I like about freeware is you don't have to pull back on the yoke, and with payware you do, which is like another $200. So while I do, it is cool that
Well, it's
pretty
not.
soon the
It,
paywars will be able to.
it's not really $200. It depends on what you want. You can get a 737 for $100, but you need a flight stick. God forbid if you use an Xbox
Right,
controller.
that's what I meant by the $200.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the controller, yeah. But I mean, when you think about it, even with freeware, you can most definitely do the nose up on your own. You want me to tell you how I take off with freeware? And we can thank payware
Sure.
for this. Brandon, how do you think I do it now that I've been flying payware? How do you think I handle a freeware airplane taking off?
You probably pull back on the yoke like you would in the PMDG aircraft.
I don't even have auto. See, with freeware, and you're right, Brandon. With freeware, you can just hit autopilot. You can turn it on, and as soon as you do the toga, bam, you're taking off. You're going to climb, and it's going to do what it's got to do. I don't do it that way. Only because, thank you, PMDG, for making me picky. I appreciate that, by the way. I'm glad you have done that to my innocent soul here. And I don't know if anybody else has done this or not. Andy, maybe you have. But when I take off, autopilot is off. I'm going down the runway with no autopilot. I'm using manual to go down the runway because you can turn on the, what's it called? Oh, the thing that'll tell you if you need to go left or right. I forget what it's called.
attitude mode.
Yeah, attitude mode. You
Attitude
turn on
mode.
attitude mode.
Attitude mode, flight directors.
Yep, and I turned that on. And, most generally, let's think about this. You're on an airplane. You got 3 wheels. The wheel in the front is in the front. Well, you know what plane you're flying, but 737. You got your nose wheel, and then you got the wheels in the back. Most of the time, you're not going to veer off the runway. Once you get on the runway and you're lined up, the odds of going completely off the runway is, I think, pretty slim. Unless you turn your airplane a little bit too far one way or the other way. Naturally, it's going to go straight, right? It's kind of like a wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow with wheels on the back, anyways, because the wheelbarrow don't have 2 wheels on the back. But I'm just saying, like, it's going to go down a straight line. Anyways, when I take off, I pull back on the yoke, and I'll climb to about 1,000 feet, and then I will activate my autopilot.
Yeah, I do about the same thing.
So, I mean, payware is responsible of us doing it like that. Payware, PMDG has made us very picky, and we want to fly just like we do in the PMDG. It's like, okay, I'm going to fly the Airbus today, but man, I ain't taking off the autopilot. Who does that? Who does that? Who gets in an Airbus and takes off with autopilot on? Come on, I ain't doing that. I'm taking off the right way. I'm going PMDG style, baby. So, it's I love seeing new people coming in, and speaking of that, Peyton, welcome to the simming community. We all welcome you, and you'll find that there's loads of information, there's loads of tutorials, and if you ever get to where you are, like, you know what, I'm gonna buy that 737. By the way, if you can't afford it, you should probably continue to follow this channel, because I think around May or June, I'm actually going to give away a free 737. So, someone that can't afford one, well, participate with the channel, and I don't know what that's going to be yet. Matter of fact, Andy don't even know, and I'm going to involve him in it. But I don't know what we're going to do yet. We're going to do something, because I know that there's people out there that can't afford it. I get it. I really, really, really get it, you guys. Look, I don't have a lot of money either, and I know what it's like paying for all this stuff. I think one day I figured up how much I've spent so far, and I'm well over $1,000. Well over.
Holy shit.
But
Oh yeah, that's not counting the simming hardware.
yeah, and I mean, but that just goes
Oh,
to
yeah.
show, if you were, you know, when I was growing up, I was in wrestling, I was in swimming, I did all this stuff, I was in track, and my parents spent a lot of money because it's a hobby. Well, so is simming. Simming is a hobby, and I bet you Andy has. Well, I know Andy's spent a lot of money too. He's bought the scenery. I mean, that alone was like what, $400, $300, something like that, just for the scenery.
Something like that, yeah.
Not counting, you know, other stuff that he's done. He's went out and got him a new laptop so that he could give us the quality of the program. You know, you can't program something with the junky piece, with a junky laptop, and I think that's where he was kind of looking. Maybe, I don't know. I've never asked you, Andy, but I'm assuming you're like, man, if I'm going to program, I need a computer that I can program with. And then you went out and got you a nice computer that can handle all that stuff. So, I got to recover from a temporary heart attack. 4,000.
Wow, over
$4,000 this guy has spent so far. Well, yeah, counting both computers,
Wow.
right? Are we talking about both laptops and then court? Yeah.
Yep.
Got you. But I, you know, as a host of a channel, especially that this is BVI Pilots. This isn't my channel, and I want people to understand that when I fly on this channel, I don't do it because it's just for me. It's for the BVI community. I want to keep putting our name out there, and I respect that people fly on their own channels. I'm hoping to change that and get some people where they'll at least, you know, do a flight every now and then on BVI. I gotta figure out how to do it. Maybe just, even if I let them fly on their own channel and then send me a video of it where I can upload it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to add more to it than just me. So, Peyton, so you're new. You've got P3D 4 or 5. What do you have?
I got 4 just because of my current system.
No, that's fine.
I think
Hey, nothing wrong with 4.
I think 5 would have blown it up with the amount of graphics it needs. So,
Well, just so you know, you can turn them graphics down. You can turn down some of that stuff on 5. But it does ask for a little bit more. But I think the difference between 5 and 4 is 4 had some bugs in it. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Andy, but I think 4 had a few bugs. And people just kind of deal with that as they fly on P34. I've dealt with it. I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's a few. And 5 fixes
Crashing
that.
bugs, it's scenery problems. Like, if you're going to a scenery that is choppy, or just like segments of it are missing, then your airplane gets a little confused and don't know what to do, and it at some point thinks it's the end of the world.
Yep, it'd just lock up or it'd
And,
close on you. Normally it just closes on you.
Yeah.
So if you ever flying and
I
it
remember
does
there
that,
was.
you'll know, Peyton, that don't freak out. It was probably a bug. You probably got to an airport that it said, hey, I can't read
Yep.
this scenery. I don't know what's going on here. I got to go take a nerve pill. So it's going to, it crashes and takes its medication. Okay.
Yep.
What flights have you done so far, Peyton? Have you done a complete flight yet, or are you still getting everything situated?
I have not done a complete flight yet. I have learned how to like take a plane into the air, but like there was no flight plan in there, so
Okay, yeah, so you couldn't land
didn't
anyways,
have
even
a
if you wanted to.
destination.
You're not landing. Yeah. So, just after the show or whatever, if you need help with doing the flight plan, let me know, and I'll be glad to show you how to do that. Because I know you want to do a flight.
Yeah, it's mainly adding it into Tramp.
It's not too bad if you've got the right
Like getting
version. You didn't download the latest version of Tramp, did you? That filthy little Tramp.
No, I downloaded whatever BVI Pilots has.
Okay, you're good then. All right, you're good. You got that, you're good. Sometimes you got to align it, and I think, what was it, Alt up arrow, Alt left arrow? Is that right, Andy, or is it Windows?
No, it's Windows up and then Windows
it's-
left.
Yep. So if you ever get to
Yeah,
where
it's
it's not
Windows up,
reading it,
Windows left.
like you get on there and it's not reading it, you want to Windows up, then Windows left, and that kind of aligns it. And so then when you do in NVDA, like insert, well, it depends on how you do it. You can do insert page up or insert numpad 7, numpad 1. But anyway, it'll read it, and you got to go to the file at the top. I'll show you how to do it. I'll help you with that. But at least, I mean, you got P3D set up, you got Tramp set up, so you're good there, right? You got all that.
Yeah, like all the scenery's good.
Okay. I'm going to have to disable that sound or something when I'm streaming. I hate that. But ding, ding, ding. Logged in, logged out.
What's
ding,
wrong?
ding, ding. Oh, when I'm streaming and someone logged in, it makes a noise, and it's just... I'm kind of a perfectionist with audio.
Kind of disrupts the flow.
It kind of does, yeah. But anyway, so, yeah, man, we're good. Glad to see you here. And, Brandon, you're going to be here soon. You had to have a new power supply put in that computer, but...
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. But you'll be flying soon. If you leave again, I'm breaking your legs.
Yeah.
Just so you know that.
Well, no, I had to set my device.
Hold on, I got to fix your
input-
audio. You're clipping. Hold on.
He is?
He is on
That
my
should
end.
be
He's,
better now, maybe.
my master volume's at 59, and he's blaring in my ear.
Oh man.
I
Huh.
had to switch my team talk to. It's fuck.
Yeah, you're
talk
fine.
Fucked my devices up or something.
There, I got you.
I came in, couldn't hear anything, so I had to log out and come back in.
Yep, you're good. But, yeah, if you need help with that, we'll help you with that. I mean, there's all kinds of people, Peyton, that you can ask. I mean, there's me, there's Andy, there's Josh, there's Brandon. Well, Brandon can help you with some of it. Come to Payware, he won't be able to do much with you, but and then there's
Yeah.
Declan, there's
I gotta
all,
train on it myself.
there's all kinds of people. So if you need help with that, but like I said, in May or June, I'm gonna get with Andy. We're gonna come up with some kind of event, and it's gonna have to be people that don't have Payware that want Payware. That's the thing, because I'm gonna give away Payware. So I just got to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I have to tell Tim about that.
Oh
If
yeah.
he doesn't have it by that time.
Yeah, because he's probably wanting to. Yeah. So me and Andy's going to get together. We're going to figure out an event for you guys. I didn't get a chance to talk to Andy about it yet because I just thought about it last night. I'm like, you know what? I know there's people out there that want to fly Payware, and they can't. And let me tell you something. I know what it's like to watch someone else get Payware when you got to wait. I remember when it first all got started, Andy was one of the first to get it, I believe. And Josh had got it. And I had to wait for like three or 4 weeks.
I
I
had to
can't
wait
remember.
for a long time. It was quite a while.
It's about a month, I think. And I was so excited. Like, I was going and just watching people fly. Just watching. Like, man, I want to fly that damn thing. So I know what it's like. And I understand if you're on a monthly income. I know from experience. I know, guys. I get it. It's hard to afford stuff. Even something that's as low as $50. You know, you're on that monthly income. You don't get a whole lot. That's just the way it is. So I know what that's like. I've been down that road. So that's why I'm doing it. But Andy, let's go to you, being we got you on here. TFM stuff. Let's talk TFM now. Any new things going on? Any new information with TFM? I think. Now let me say this very gracefully and cautious about it at the same time. I got to do a few more flights, but I think there might be a bug I got to report. I think, and obviously there might be bugs because it's preview, right? Like, it's not, hey guys, download the preview. There's going to be no problems. It's going to work 100%. I mean, it does work, but
Well, and with the new stuff going around too, there's a lot of confusing things going on.
There is. Well, the thing is the 737. I could not get that thing to connect to the localizer for nothing, and it was a airport that I fly at all the time. So I don't know what happened there. I ended up landing completely RNAV. I can't believe I did that. Like, completely. Approach wouldn't even come on. I'm hitting approach, hitting the button. Nothing. Would not come on. So I'm going to
That would be a PMDG problem.
Yeah.
Or something.
It very well could be. That's why I'm not calling it just yet. But I've never seen that happen before. But when I was reading your stuff, I did see where you said autopilot and auto throttle cannot be disengaged. Talk to us about that, because I'm not sure that I fully follow that. What do you mean by?
So at least in the 37 at this point, there are some switches that I believe they're in the forward panel somewhere. One of them would disconnect or disengage the autopilot. The other one will disengage the auto throttles. So that way you can take over, yourself. If you need autopilot to do things, but you don't want it controlling the throttle, then you hit the auto throttle disconnect or disengage switch.
Yeah.
And then when you want it to take over, then you just flip the switch again. Those are not in there right now because I wanted to move them over to the speed box to make it easier to find and get to.
Right. Well, I know, like, I've never seen PMDG do what it did the other night. Like, I'm hitting approach, and all you can do is hear it clicking it. Click, 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 click. It would not, and some of these guys were watching,
weird.
And it would not go to approach. It would not. And
I was there.
I thought...
Yeah, it's probably something to do with PMDG's conditions on when you should turn approach mode on. You probably didn't have a localizer or a glide slope reading somewhere.
I mean, I should have. It was Detroit, and I've flown it many a times. As a matter of fact, the flight I did, where was it I flew? And I don't know, they must have updated their localizer because it was awful low when it connected. I was at like 1,000 feet.
Calgary?
Yeah, I think it was Calgary. But Calgary's a little different anyways, because you're actually, even though you're at 1,000 feet, you're really not 1,000 feet. You're 1,000 feet from the runway, but the runway's over 3,000 feet. So I think that might be that way at Calgary. Actually, more than I think about it, I think the localizer is near 1,000. I think
It's well, yeah. It's gotta be lower than the runway altitude to catch it.
Well, 1,000 feet wouldn't be lower than the runway altitude. The runway altitude is 3,600.
3,600. Yeah.
So I was 1,000 feet from the runway when I caught the localizer.
Yeah.
But the localizer was at 25, I think. So, and I mean, it can catch it below, but you can catch the localizer above too. There's no rule that says that you can't. because I've done it, but it's best to catch it below. Obviously, it's easier. But anyway, it is what it is. We find these bugs as we go through. Even with TFM, if there's a bug, don't freak out. Make sure it's a bug, and then submit it. This approach thing probably wasn't. Maybe it was something else. I don't know. I know approach would not come on for nothing. I do know that. Like the other thing that I found was, you might know about this, Andy. The auto brake. So you can hit A to arm it, O to turn it off.
Yep.
Right now, the A is like a double toggle. You can hit A twice, and it goes between different settings on the auto brake. I didn't report it because I thought I'll just tell them about that, because it's not one of them bugs where, oh my gosh, I can't fly. It's just that you can hit A more than once when you're on that button. Like when you're on the button, you can do, Alt A, or not Alt A, but just A to arm it. It'll arm it, and if you hit it again, it'll say off. So it like toggles it.
Oh, that is a feature actually of the original auto brake on the airplane.
Oh, okay, so where you can hit it, yeah.
There,
I got you.
Yeah, so it's like if a sighted person was to sit there and just left click on the arm setting, it would just go toggle between on and
okay,
off
where they
arm,
can just
off arm.
take their mouse and click it off and on, off and. I got you.
Yep.
Same idea.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it simulates pushing the brake with in the cockpit, I guess.
Well, the auto brake button isn't. You don't push that with your foot. That's a button actually for auto brake.
Button, yeah.
But either way, Peyton, you've been about this stream. You was the topic of it. Anything that you want to say? Any comments that you would like to make? Any questions you would like to ask? Even the developer here, Andy, you got any questions for him about? I don't know. So we're not really programming for freeware right now, right, Andy? Is that right?
No, we're not. Matter of fact, there's going to be some updates in 23.1.2 that probably will come out later this week, towards the end of this week, probably, that removes Navigraph cycle from TFM. It removes all the Navigraph stuff because we're not using it right now. Why take up 120 megs of bandwidth with something we're not using?
What is it? What is it we're not using? I'm not.
It's the Navigraph cycle.
He was using the Navigraph cycles for, I guess it was supposed to be with a freeware flight planner and such, but since that's removed, might as well remove the rest of it too, basically.
Yeah. So
and part of it's like 120 megs of weight we're carrying around and not using.
And it's not going to affect freeware either way, right? It's not going to affect them when they're flying freeware. It's not going to.
No, because the freeware flight planner is going to be based off the SimBrief.
Yeah. Okay.
And SimBrief uses Navigraph anyway, so it's a roundabout way of doing it, but it works.
Hey, whatever works and makes it, and of course, the less that you're carrying around, the quicker that TFM can respond to stuff too. Obviously, we found that out. When there's stuff that it don't need, like get it out of the way.
I really can't wait for the SimBrief stuff in TFM as far as the reports and stuff. I guess it's a little ways off, but.
Yeah, it's a little bit off. I have another sandbox app that I'm using to play around with that stuff so I don't screw TFM up on it and stuff. So when I get to a certain point, then we can start putting that stuff in there. But I want to get some of this 47 done, and I have some 37 stuff to finish.
Yeah, and not counting the spaghetti plate that you've got now with 2020, right? You got a spaghetti plate going.
Well, that, believe it or not, Paul was helping me out yesterday and managed to clean up all of the database code, so everything should be back in place the way it was before.
Really?
The only difference is in 2020, you're going to have a lot smaller footprint with that database, because so like for destination runway, for an example, you go type in an airport code, hit enter, you choose your airport, hit OK. So what TFM does is it grabs an instance of the airport's database, looks up the airport, looks up a runway, assigns it to some stuff in TFM. But now you start tracking the aircraft in relation to this one lonely little runway out there in the world, and you run up 100 gigs of memory just from this database tracking your flight from 20 miles out. Yeah, 20 miles out.
Well, even with 23.1, the preview that just came out yesterday, the 2020's performance is drastically improved, just even by those little changes. I mean those.
Well, that has the that has the new database
That's got the new
format
data.
in it
Yeah,
too,
it's got the new database, so it's going to make it better.
And so the way it goes now is we get an instance of the database, ask it for your destination airport. Then what we do is we tell it, okay, out of this airport we only want this one runway. So once we get a reference to that runway out of the database, all of the other memory is cleared out because you don't need it anymore. So now it's like a 15 meg footprint instead of a 100 gig footprint.
Yeah. So I know what I'm going to do is the laptop that I have, P3D5, I've got P3D5 on 2 different laptops, because you can do that. You can have it on 2 different platforms, 2 different units. I'm going to remove it from the other one because obviously I'm having all them AirAct data problems, 7.4, all these problems I've been having. So I'm going to remove all that, and I'm going to activate 2020 on that for right now and see how it does. I think it'll do fine because that's got that laptop has got 16 gigs of memory. It's got a 1 terabyte hard drive. That alone, that alone should, it's got a video card as well. I forget what kind, but it's whatever the default was. It came with those, Andy, because me and you've got your first laptop is like my lap. Like me and Andy's got the same laptop, his first one. And then he got the updated one. He got the upgraded one. But so he knows kind of what I'm working with on the other laptop. It can definitely handle 2020. And even if the video card's I don't know what video card came on that by default. But it should be fine. I just gotta go. I gotta make room now that I've decided to do that. So yeah. The only thing is, if I'm gonna fly on 2020, it don't matter. I've got a hub. So when I plug in the hub to the other laptop, it'll plug in my yoke automatically. So I'm wondering on 2020, this is off topic, you guys, forgive me. Will it recognize my Honeycomb Alpha, or am I going to have to do some special programming like you got to do with P3D?
I think it's got a profile for Honeycomb. I remember that in the changelog, but I know Declan had to do some. I think there is a profile for it, but I don't think
you probably still got
the default, so he did have to program it.
Yeah, add the profile Which that's, now that I know how to do that, I'll go and grab whatever worked with 2020, and then I can fly with that as well. Of course, Josh, you can fly right now with your Shadow. Of course, when you get your new computer, you're going to be like me when I get mine. I mean, we're gonna be.
I'm gonna be
We're gonna be
flying
leaving
with
shit in the
my
dust.
Actual flight
I mean,
stick.
I'm just telling you, we're gonna leave some stuff in
Yeah.
the dust, man. It's not gonna. It's gonna be like a turtle race.
Yeah.
Our other computers are gonna be like way in the background, just slowly creeping along while we're already like in the future waiting on them. Where'd they go? They're not here. But
Nah, the shadow forces me to use a controller. Like I can't. I have a
So-
flight stick sitting right in front of me that I can't use.
yeah, let me pull up something that someone had wrote me about the shadow, because they were asking me the other night, and I really pull it up here. Here we go. It says, I've got a crazy story to tell you. The first part of this story is really crappy. And the second part, I guess, makes it look a little better, adds a little sunshine to the situation. But you want to talk about being at the wrong end of the stick, that is where I am. And then it says, I got a brand new computer for Christmas. 64 gigs of memory, a 2 terabyte hard drive, a X something video card. I can't pronounce that. I can't pronounce that. Got to get on my computer on Christmas, and everything was working great. I could fly on 2020. Everything was perfect. I finally could fly on the sim without it lagging so bad to where I just had to shut my computer off. It was really frustrating not being able to fly. I couldn't even fly the simplest simulator because the computer I had before this could not handle it. And if you can't fly on the original simulator, and I think you all know what I'm talking about. Do what, Josh?
FSX.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, and he
Probably
said,
what-
he said, I'm referring to
That's what
FSX
I was
here.
thinking.
If you can't fly on FSX, boys, pack up and go home, because if you can't fly on that,
That's sad.
you can't fly on anything. So that's when I decided I needed a new computer. So I spent almost $4,000 on a new computer. Here's where the storm comes in. The following day, my family came over. My sisters, my brother, a couple of my cousins, and I had a house full of kids. I had to leave because I had a on call that I had to do for work. Because when you work for the hospital, when you get called in, you got to go. So I left. I thought I locked my office door. Went to work. Everything was great. I was happy at work. I had a new computer, and it was a rough day at work, and I couldn't wait to get home. When I got home, I walked in and noticed that my office door was cracked open. My stomach suddenly started to cramp
Oh,
because I knew when I opened that door,
oh, I see where this is going.
it was going to be hell. I would like to also remind you that I have a dog that weighs almost 200 pounds. He likes to play with the kids. The kids decided
Oh no.
they were going to play hide and seek with Sally. Sally loves hide and seek, but she doesn't have a stop button when she runs at somebody. Here comes Sally, apparently, crashing into my desk, which knocked
Oh no.
a 100-pound or 100-gallon fish tank over top my brand new computer. When I walked in the office, my computer was sitting inside of the fish tank because the fish tank was upside down on my tower, along with the tarantula that was trapped between the computer and the fish tank. And he was really confused as much as I was. To speed this story up, I'll pass the yelling, the cussing, the breaking other items around me for about 2 minutes because I was furious. The moment that I grabbed my tarantula even though if he would have got me, it would have poisoned me. I grabbed him and threw him in a bucket. I was not happy. This computer is unrepairable.
I can imagine.
So to add a little light to the story, I thought, what am I going to do? So I went and got Shadow. Shadow is great, but the problems I'm running into is it recognizing my simulator devices. Sometimes my headset will work on Shadow and other times it will not. My Honeycomb Alpha will not work on Shadow. My Honeycomb Bravo will not work on Shadow. My CDU will not work on Shadow. And so now I'm a little aggravated because I know I can fly on Shadow. But why the hell don't they fix some of these simple things, considering that the Shadow was created mainly, I would like to quote that, so I will say it again, quote, mainly, quote, for gamers. So that is where I am, and here's my question.
Yeah.
Am I doing something wrong, or does Shadow not support simming devices? Because if they don't, well, they can kiss my, well, in kind words, where the sun don't shine. let me say this
Man.
let me say this to Rodney first. Rodney, brother, I am sorry that happened to you, because I'm going to tell you, when I get my new computer, if someone was to barge in my room, let's not think about that. That it would be a very bad day for me and for whoever did it. Oh, I hope your dog's safe.
I think it'd be a very bad day for them.
Well, and the reason I'm saying I hope your dog's safe, I did see where you said you had to take your dog to get stitches. You think?
Oh.
But he said the dog is okay. So I had to take the dog to get stitches. But she's going to be okay. But unfortunately, I can't give my computer any stitches. Game over.
Man, I am so sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh.
You know, there are dogs like that. Like I had
Right
a dog
after
that
you
was the
bought it.
same way. Like you throw a ball and they'd run through stuff, not go around. They would want to just run right through whatever's in the way, unless it was a wall, and then they would still run into the wall instead of going around. Hey, dummy, go around. But I can imagine a 200-pound dog. Oh gosh, oh man, that sucks. But Josh, you know Shadow well. So I think what he's asking here is there anything he can do to get this stuff to work? Or is he out of luck?
Well, as far
Give
as
him some sunshine, bro. Don't give him bad news. Come on.
Well, I mean, there is some bad news. It doesn't work with
So
Man.
look, he's going to get the bad news out of the way first. Like, okay, you know what? There is bad news. Suck it up, Rodney, because this is what it is.
Some good news.
What's the bad news, Josh? What is the bad news? You just get it out there.
it doesn't.
Yeah. Just get it over with.
It doesn't work with your HOTUSes, your honeycombs, your
Oh,
whatever.
God, doesn't.
It just doesn't.
Rodney, quote, doesn't.
HOTUSes, it just
Does not.
What about an Xbox controller? Could he use that?
and yeah, he could use that. He could use that. Yes.
Listen, I'm being
So
serious.
there is a little bit of
and-
good news.
Well, Josh had seen me do it. You can adjust the sensitivity of your remote, and you can take off with the controller, but you've got to adjust it and play around with it before you get it just right.
It's hard to do that in 2020 right now, though.
Are you telling me you got more bad
Hard to
news
do
for
that in
me?
2020 right now.
You used to be able to do it.
I
With
think
the-
he does. I think he does.
I've done it before. Like, what did they break?
Well, they I mean, I just never tried. I mean, I went in there and I kind of looked around, and it was hard for me to adjust just the global sensitivity of the zones. So,
Well,
I don't know. Like
You
it's
can
just-
you can adjust the
really-
you can adjust the controller through the computer too. I forget where you go to do it, but you can calibrate it.
Yeah, but I don't know if the sim will Yeah, but I don't know if 2020 specifically will use those settings.
I mean, it worked for me because if you remember, I was
I don't see
using
why it wouldn't.
I was
Okay.
using the Xbox controller and I had to do a lot of it. You're going to have to go and adjust this thing like 3 or 4 times before you get it just right. That stick is a bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry, hope your kids ain't listening, Rodney, but it's a bitch. All right, so you got the bad news out. What's the good news? Because that's all shit.
There
It's-
isn't any.
No, well, I mean, I don't know. Like you can, you can fly with 2020. I mean, there is, like you will. If you want to do long, if you
You
want
know what
do,
he's saying right
long
now?
hauls,
He's
you
probably
just get it
saying,
along
no
because,
shit, jackass. I hope you can fly with 2020. I mean, you can fly with 2020. Yeah,
I mean,
you can.
And then, yeah, but
Gosh.
I don't know how good streaming with it is. Like, I mean, I've done a couple of videos with it so far. I mean, nobody's really complained, but then again, most of my viewers are blind, so I really don't know how it looks. I know I have video. Just
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
like
how-
turning on the radio for a deaf person and saying, is that too loud?
Yeah.
Like, it ain't going to matter. But no, I think you'll be fine on record. I've done streaming on 2020. It's doable. It's doable.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think, Rodney, I don't think you streamed. Let me know because I'm curious if you do, because we would love to see some of your videos if you've done that, because I know he did a video when he did his flight on Christmas. He did a video of flying around Australia, and he did a couple of different flights with Australia. He was in a Bonanza with one of his flights, and it was really
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Like,
Oh, and he did point out that the CDU didn't work with Shadow, which that's I think that might be due to you may have to configure your PMDG options file to add the configuration so that TFM can read it. That's probably what's going on there, because it works fine.
the CDU doesn't work.
Yeah, he said the CDU doesn't work when it definitely does. I think
that's a
probably
bummer.
has something to do with the configuration of the option.
Yeah, like, so I wonder if they could maybe upload some settings or something onto it to where, I don't know.
Well, they gotta go to bvipilots.net and just
Rodney, if you have trouble,
detect this options file.
if you have trouble, let me know what it is. And between Josh and if it's a TFM thing with Andy, and then of course the other person I go to for tech resource, because he's really good at going through this stuff, and that's Declan. But now I will remind you, he's back in college just like me, and so his time is very limited. But maybe I can at least get some information back if you need it. But again, sorry to see that happen to you, man. That sucks. That's a lot of money. And guys, I didn't read the other part of it because it really wasn't necessary. But the warranty that he was supposed to have gotten, they didn't charge him for it, so he didn't get a warranty on his computer.
Oh man, that's
Oh,
That sucks.
But that's
That
their
sucks.
fault, because on his order it shows the warranty, but they didn't charge it. So I'm going to come at you now with something else that I know very well: criminal justice, law, yada yada yada. You can fight that if it's on your order, okay, that you submitted to them, and they didn't charge you. That's on them, not you. So whatever order that confirmation that you got, because it sent him a confirmation that showed everything he was getting, extended warranty, which gave him 2 years, yada yada yada.
oh yeah.
Fight that shit, man. Fight that shit. You can probably
I
get that
would.
warranty. I don't know that I would let them know about the damage yet, maybe get the warranty thing taken care of first. And
I'd get the warranty first.
And then take care of that. All right. You've got my number because I sent you my phone number and stuff. So if you need me to step in for you, well, I'll just say that I'll be glad to do that. And I believe we can get some good answers. So, people love me. Well,
I know you'll get some good answers.
well, I don't know if they love me, but they what's that saying? Love to hate you or something like it. They love you but hate you.
Yeah.
Love to hate
Love
you.
to hate you. Yeah.
Anyway, I hope it works out, man. I hate to see that. You know, we're all sitting here flying, having fun.
I know.
And your stuff gets destroyed, and that sucks, man. And you know, your kids are kids, man. They don't think about that stuff. You know, you can't really blame them. I mean, the oldest
Can't
kid,
blame them for that.
the oldest kid in that incident was like 7 years old. So that
Oh yeah.
they didn't think about. I'm sure they didn't think about the dog bashing through your desk
No.
to get to him.
No, I'm pretty sure they didn't.
And actually, the chair, when I talked to him, this is interesting. The chair behind the desk had fell over and landed on top of the youngest little girl. She was 3. And the dog pushed the chair off of her. Literally.
Wow.
The dog seen that she was
Wow.
stuck, and the dog moved the chair off of her. This is a big dog, though. I think he says
That's
it's an
incredible.
Alaskan Husky or something. They're really big dogs, man.
Oh
They're
yeah, they're huge.
huge
They're
dog,
huge.
and they're super smart. Not as smart as my ex-wife, but that's a different breed. That's a different nature right there. Anyway, Andy, what are we going to be? Well, I know we will when we do the sneak peek. Are we thinking that that update that you were talking about that might be out by the sneak peek, or what are we looking at for the sneak peek? Do you know yet?
I don't know, so it'll be week 3.
All right, so get auto taxi completed. We'll get that done. Can you do that?
No. No.
Sorry, guys, I tried. Guys, dadgummit. Wouldn't it be cool if
Not
2020 or the developers would give you an idea how they did that? Wouldn't that be nice? They're not going to do that, but it
would.
It'd be nice
They're
if
not
they
going to,
gave you an
though.
idea how they did that. That'd be. Clearly, they're not going to do that. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, it's got like it can crash into things and stuff. Especially, we've seen that with the
yeah,
type where
we have, yes,
but
Yeah.
taxis. And
I'd
stuff.
say 75% it works. 75% of the time.
For the most part, yeah.
What I wish that we could do on 2020 is when we were flying on Aviatype, there'd been twice that I've landed at airports
What?
where I couldn't take off. Neither could Josh, because runway wasn't long enough or it was surrounded by trees. How do you take off with the tree in the way?
Or it was grass.
Me and Josh are pros at getting to the airports that you get stuck at.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The one I got stuck at, it was so bad I couldn't even like transfer my airplane, nothing. So I just sat there and watched my company go in debt like week after week. Like nothing I can do, man. Come on. What do you do? So back to you, Andy. What are you thinking? What could we possibly be looking at on the next sneaky peeky? Sneaky peeky.
Let me see. Possibly to have the overhead maintenance panel done.
Ooh, juicy stuff right there.
Let me see what else.
That's the super juicy. Let me tell you. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you while you're looking. I hit a button in the 7 7.3, I went to the main panel and I hit a test button, and when I would hit it, and I wonder if this ain't if that's not what ended up messing me up, because I hit this button. It's supposed to be like a test thing, and it would say about autopilot off, and it would say approach on, autopilot on. It would say that when I hit test, and I'm wondering if I didn't disable something, and that's why my approach wasn't working that time.
It could have been.
There was like a test button.
It could have been some lighting test.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was. It was a lighting test.
Yeah. Basically, what it does is it turns on all of the indicator lights on all of the panels,
But that wouldn't have, even though
and
it.
then turns them off.
So it was just saying that as like a test.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that wouldn't have done
Okay.
anything.
Okay. Because I remember, you guys, if you remember when I was doing the flight in the 7.3, I was like, oh, why is it doing that? It's saying, it was saying approach off, autopilot off, or command A. I forget how it says it, but then it says it is
Command
on.
B, command A.
Command A, command B, approach. And I was like, oh crap. But
Oh, yeah, it's like, I believe if I remember right, it's, they call it the cabin lights test.
now, I'm just going to tell y'all right now, do not touch it. Do not touch. Don't even look at it. Leave it alone. Don't touch the fire buttons, because you twist that handle the wrong direction, I promise you, you are in for a world of all kinds of interesting things happening. I don't even.
Hey, get your plane. I remember
Oh,
we were doing
I take
that
it you learned the
test.
hard way.
We were doing that test, and the plane was so confused.
oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That dude, my plane had no idea what it was doing. We did that. And was that because stuff was not completed, or would it normally just confuse the hell out of the plane?
So it's a test. So if you turn the test off, then everything should return back
Go
to
back
the
to
way it was
normal.
before.
But if you actually activate to put out a fire, and there ain't one, I don't know what it'd do. I have no idea. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, you can't.
Oh, because it won't.
You
It
can't
won't
activate any of those handles.
unless there's a real fire.
Yeah, if you're not in a test. Yeah, unless you're in a test or have a real fire, you cannot deal with those handles because they're locked.
Yep, that's right. That's right. You're right. So you could go in and turn on, maybe make one of your engines catch fire, during your flight. It'll randomly do it. You can tell it like, okay, engine failure or something like that, and then it would simulate that. But I have no need to do that. I'm scared of that button. Those handles. Yeah, those handles can stay right where they're at. I'll leave them alone. Because the last time I did it, my airplane was not happy with me at all. I don't even know if that plane knew it was a plane, to be honest. It was very confused.
Yeah.
So, all right, Andy.
It's a plane that identifies as a car.
Anything else you want to add to the...
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there is going to be some 47 changes with settings, and the overhead maintenance panel electrical will actually work, because right now if you go to do something with it, it won't do anything, but in this next update it will work.
Let me ask you about the 7.4 on approach, because it did say when I was on my approach, and you guys were watching when I landed, it did say VNAV off, but it never said LNAV off for some reason. And then, or maybe it did and I didn't hear it, but it continued to read the altitudes all the way down. Is it supposed to do that, or is it because maybe it wasn't fully established?
Normally it will. So like mine, when I went into Boston,
Okay.
When I went into Boston, first officer says glide slope alive about 20 miles out, so I turn on approach mode. And this is what it did for me. It did not read anything until I got onto my final approach turn.
Oh wow.
So once I turned on to final, then it started reading the numbers.
See, my approach got
But by
activated.
that point,
I was at around 3,000 ish when I activated approach.
sounds about right. Yeah, I did mine at about what was it, 5 or 6,
Yeah.
and yeah, I didn't start reading the numbers until the plane did its
You know, I
final
didn't
approach
realize
turn at 3.
That was the first time
At 3,000, once it hit 3,000 and finished its final approach turn, then it started reading the numbers.
but I didn't realize how good the 748 sounded. I'd never flew it before. I always flew the 7400, you know, the 400, but I think the 8 sounds, well, the 8F is what I flew. The 74,
Yeah.
yeah, the 8F. That thing sounds amazing, man. Like, wow. The sounds on that thing were just mind-blowing. It sounded really, really good. The only thing that, and I don't know if it's something you can turn off, like, I wasn't having no problems at all, but it would say, like, terrain. I wasn't doing the descent too fast or nothing, but I was still getting no messages, so I don't know.
No, it doesn't mean that. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in trouble. It's just alerting you that there's terrain here. You're probably flying over mountains.
It was pretty much right near when I was at about 900 feet. Terrain and something else. It wasn't speed. It
Well,
was.
it could have been buildings.
I got the terrain message, and there was another message. Can you guys remember? I don't remember what it was, but anyway, I think it's just letting me know stuff's there, like you said.
Yeah.
And if I'm
Yeah.
thinking
If
LAX,
it's at
I
900
believe
feet,
there's.
it's probably buildings.
I was thinking there's a fence there too at LAX.
Very well could be.
But it's a fun airplane to fly. And honestly, Brandon, now that you can control altitude, speed, and heading, there's really no reason why you would have trouble
I was
flying
gonna
that thing.
say. Yeah, I was gonna say, what did you think of this? Of the
Yeah, I'm excited about flying it.
MCP boxes?
It was good. It worked perfect. It worked really good. I didn't have any problems at all. And you know, the other thing I noticed, I don't know if it's the TF improvement or TFM improvement that made it work better, but sometimes when I would do like left bracket shift A or shift S or shift H, it didn't always pull it right to the front of my screen. I would have to alt tab to get to it, or it would delay. Now it's like almost instant. You hit left bracket shift A and bam, there it is. Anybody else notice that, Josh?
Yeah.
Part of it might be dealing with the airport's database taking up all that memory.
Yeah. So this guy that's helping you, is he someone that programmed 2020?
No, he's the
No,
guy
he's
who made the
basically
library that
the
we use.
FSU IPC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he made the FSU IPC source code that we use.
2020 uses it too, right? Don't they use the same?
They don't use it, no.
No. They third party stuff uses it.
Well, because I know you guys said it improved 2020, but I guess you're talking about just the TFM side of it. Gotcha.
Well,
I'm
the
just talking
TFM
about the
part,
yeah.
pretty much TFM isn't stepping on its foot.
Yeah. So the lag is gone. Is that what we're saying? Is the lag gone from 2020?
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Josh, are you?
It also frees up memory for FSFO too.
Yeah. Are you flying on Aviatype again? Or is that where you're at?
I did. On occasion, I did a flight, the other day, on Aviatype, just to,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to use the old version of TFM, so I'll try it again. It hopefully won't be as stuttery and laggy.
I know my other laptop.
Even though I wasn't using the airport's database, it was still loaded.
Yeah. You know, speaking. Well, I know I'm going to completely restore my other laptop, and I got to tell you guys a story. And this ain't got nothing to do with flying, but Brandon was there. He witnessed every second of this. Okay. The other day, I'm sitting here at my table.
I'm still baffled by this.
I'm sitting at my table, and I moved my mic, and my mic's on a boom. So I got it connected. There's a big clamp that it connects to the side of the table on the opposite side. So then the mic boom comes across the table towards me. And I'd moved it. Well, somebody came in my camper one day and set a drink on that side of the table. And it fell off my table, and I didn't realize it. And it had been sitting there probably for a day upside down, along with my external hard drive underneath of it. So now, let me give you the picture of this. The can was identically on top of the hard drive, and it was flooded. There was pop all over the top of it. When I picked up the hard drive and I unplugged it, you could hear it pour out and hit the floor from inside this hard drive.
Literally.
Now, I thought, it's done. I'm screwed. And I've got everything on that hard drive. Everything. I've got probably 200 gigabytes or more worth of sounds. All my airplanes, my PMDG information, my account information, I mean everything. So I thought, I wonder if this thing comes apart. So I got the case to come off of it. And as you guys might know, there's nothing to these newer hard drives. There's nothing in there turns. It's all based on chips.
Yeah, there's no platters or anything.
So I took it all apart. I cleaned it, wiped it off, because the actual external hard drive, the drive itself is inside that casing. So wiped it all down, dried it, let it sit there for a couple hours. And I said, well, Brandon, well, I had tried it after I instantly dried it, and it wasn't working. It wasn't recognizing. I said, well, you know what? Okay, let's just let it sit.
Yeah, because we both thought it was done.
Yeah. Well, then now it's all back together. All the stickiness is gone. It's clean. And the damn thing works. I don't know how.
It happened.
I don't know how it's possible.
I was baffled.
I would have thought that would have ruined it, but it didn't. So the only thing I can think of is it didn't, when it got, I'm thinking if it had been plugged in and running, and that happened, it would have probably ruined it. It would have sorted it out.
Yep.
But being there was no power going to it, and I cleaned it, I mean, I don't know. I can't believe that it actually still works.
I couldn't believe that either, because you and I both thought
I need somebody right now.
This thing's done.
Knock on wood. If you got wood beside you, knock it right now. Come on. I got no wood around me. Knock on wood. Somebody. Nobody? Brandon, you got any wood around you? Come on. Knock. Knock on the damn wall.
No, I don't.
Come on. There. Okay. That'll work. Because no, my luck, I plug that some bitch in now and it ain't going to work. Just the way my luck goes. Anyways, I was really glad for that. So, all right, last thing, and then we're gonna kick it. So, hope you got your boxing suit on there, Peyton. 'Cause I don't want to kick you too hard. Uh, Thursday. Are we doing a
I
sneak?
got 2 boxing suits on.
Well, you're good. You're covered. So are we looking at sneak peek on Thursday, or do we know yet, Andy?
Don't know. Probably Thursday or Friday. Most likely Thursday.
You guys, I'll tell you what. You can check on Twitter. I will post the date once we know for sure. I will post it on Twitter. Be sure you follow us on Twitter at BVI Pilots. Also, just in case you didn't know this, to get to our channel, it's very easy. It's youtube.com/@BVI Pilots. Hold on, I'll give you the number. I think it
4480.
Yeah, 4480. And you do have to put the @ symbol. Ryan was thinking that you didn't, but you do. That's with anybody's, unless we have a custom name, you got to put the @ symbol. But we don't got enough views yet, subscribers to do the custom name yet. And honestly, it's already at BVI Pilots. The only thing I'm going to do is get rid of the 4480. So
That's interesting because when I search for it, I don't even put the at 4480 and it comes up every time.
well, no. I'm not talking about searching. I'm talking about you go to your URL, put in youtube.com
Oh. Okay.
/@ and there it is. The address, youtube.com / BVI Pilots 4480, and there it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, by the way, Junior, welcome to the channel. I seen that Junior subscribed. So, gotta welcome him to the channel. He thought he was subscribed and he wasn't, but he is now.
Definitely.
We've got 76 subscribers right now.
Almost at 100.
We had a troll that left a comment and they said, looks like it's going to take you another 5 years to get to 100. Hey, leave more comments,
I'd
will
like
you?
to thank that troll.
I would too. I want to thank you
Thanks for
for
commenting.
leaving a comment. As a matter of fact, I want you to come back and leave some more, will you? I don't care what story you make up. You can talk about anything you want. You can call me a crackhead. You can say that I'm a meth head. Hell, why not go all out and say I'm a coke head? At least I'd be rich. See, meth heads are kind of ignorant, but coke heads, that's where the money is, right? So, I'm the blind simmer that deals in coke. That's why I do these long hauls, delivering coke. You know? Well, no. This last long haul was for Biden. I delivered
Oh.
I delivered him a bunch of
You
Viagra.
delivered classified documents?
Yeah, for his overclass documents that they found out about. It got Biden really upset and, caused his upper leg to not have much activity. So we sent him an
my
unlimited source
goodness.
of Viagra. It's even got your picture on
Which
the
I'm sure he appreciated.
Yeah. It's even got your picture on the bottle, Biden. It's like a little pig, got a big nose. It's perfect. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, guys, it's been fun. Anybody got any announcements they want to throw out there before we go? Andy, Josh, Peyton, any questions? Anything you want to know before we go, Peyton? Anything that's on your mind? Besides sexy women, because that's always on our mind. But
Oh my gosh. One thing is, why isn't TFM working on freeware stuff?
because it already works with freeware.
The answer to that. The
Oh,
answer
so
to
they're not gonna
that
add anything. Oh, okay.
is
Because I heard you guys say like they should do more for freeware before.
yeah. Well, we do surveys on it every fall, and so people say they want to deal with the payware stuff right now. So there's not much of an interest in it.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think that even
Now,
at
people.
go ahead.
Well, and here's the thing that I find out. People can say they can talk in groups, and I could go around and talk to people, and they can say one thing, like, oh, if I go around talking to people, the general consensus is everyone wants the freeware stuff because it's always mentioned at some point or another. You throw one of these surveys out there, and
it don't come out.
Freeware is the last thing on the list. Yep,
Yeah,
freeware is
yeah.
the last thing on the list.
But here's the thing: if freeware wasn't working at all, I believe that Andy would be. He would consider that okay, our payware's working, but people that can't fly, that can't afford payware, you know, that they're wanting to fly freeware and it's not working either. I think he would make it work. I'll say that. Like, it's not that,
Yeah, I gotcha.
you know, if freeware didn't work at all with TFM, then Andy, I guarantee you, it would be a priority. That'd be priority. But it works. Everything works on the freeware because you got,
it works.
you know, you got FS Tramp that pulls a lot of the weight too. So, but eventually, yeah. But I think what's going to happen, we get through the 7.3, the 7.4, and the 777. I believe, now I'm just going off my own thoughts here, but I believe the next item up will be the Airbus. I do believe that. So
That's
heartedly.
what the survey says, yeah. Survey says in order: PMDG 37, 47, 77, Airbus 318 through 321, 330, Quality Wings, and Wilco.
I think Quality Wings will
And
be another
Freeware's down on the
interesting.
bottom.
Quality Wings will be another interesting one because
Who's Quality Wings?
I don't know. I don't really hear people.
Quality
talking about
Wings is
Wilco
an
much
aircraft
anymore.
developer.
they might not, but I still
Oh,
think
okay.
when people actually are flying it free actual payware, I think that is a unique airplane.
Oh yeah.
Me and George were talking about it one day,
Yeah.
and he
That's a
said that,
787.
and he was saying that plane delivers some very unique things about it, and he didn't really get into specifics
heard that
about it,
too.
but he said that it had some very unique features. I don't know what they are. He didn't really say, but
Well, that's going to be a huge thing, project, because the SDK is 65 print pages long.
so I guess that's why it's going to be unique, because it's probably got a lot of features that we don't even know about.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in it.
What was the name of that one again? That's the
Quality,
Wings 787.
the 787. Yeah. So interesting stuff, and I'm going to close on this. We'll go around the room real quick on this. If we look at where we started and where we are today, who expected us to be here where we are right now? And be honest.
I certainly didn't. I honestly didn't expect us to be this far
Yeah,
today.
you did.
I go back to this conversation that we all had. Those of us that's here right now, we all had a very specific conversation. And we was talking about
Yep.
being able to fly free payware. We was talking
Payware.
We was even talking about like technology being put in airplanes. And I remember myself saying, man, even to be able to get into a payware airplane and fly it like the real thing would be amazing. And folks, look
Yep.
where we are. And there's two people responsible for that. Jason and Andy. So that's why I always, at the end of the day, I'm taking my hat off for them. Because what would we, let's think about this now. And we're going to go around and ask each person kind of their thoughts. What would we be flying right now, guys? We'd be on freeware.
Freeware.
So,
The good old
Brandon?
820, 320 megapeg.
let's start with you. What are your thoughts about it?
All right. All I got to say is, considering where we started, this is definitely a game changer. Where the fact that we can fly payware, PMDG aircrafts realistically, and going on from there. It's definitely a game changer, and I like it. I like where we are. I like to see where we're going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it really is. Technology.
Considering I started out with IYP and limited aircraft, I like where we've advanced.
Now, I will say something about that, but I'm going to wait till we go around. Just remind me
All right.
to give my thought on IYP. All right. Let's
Okay.
go to Andy himself, the programmer, the developer, someone that also didn't think we'd be here. Andy, what's your thoughts now?
Well,
I mean, the
from a
weight's on
user's
you.
point
You
of
did
view.
this. You did this. Remember that when you give your opinion, you did this for us.
I would have to say that I'm speechless. That, I mean, it gives the point that, with programming you can do almost anything, but to be involved in something that takes a very sighted, visual approach to things like flying and turn it into something that people cannot see, that can do just as good as the sighted person next to them. In our school, when I graduated, they talk about adding value to your customers, your clients, your communities,
Your
whatever
skill
it is that you
to
deal
your skill,
with.
yeah.
And add value, and what is value? The rate of return has to be greater than what you put out, and
You've done it.
I can't say as though it's there. It's nothing to be seen of anywhere else or anywhere in the past. I've been asking people, I wonder what the guy that did IYP would think if he saw TFM at this point, and so far I've gotten people, well, his mind would be so blown out of proportions he could not think straight.
I bet he's up in the heavens just
I kind of
clapping
agree with
and
that,
cheering
Andy.
on.
I actually agree with that.
I bet he's looking over all of us right now because, as everybody knows, 90% says he's probably not with us anymore, unfortunately. I didn't get to meet him.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. He's for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet him. I didn't get to fly IYP. I wish I could have. But something else to think about. Imagine if he was still here and Andy and this guy joined together with TFM.
I think I had talked to Josh about this very topic.
I mean, I'm not
a few
saying
days
that
ago.
Andy's work is bad at all. I'm just saying, with having two programmers with the skills that they got, I think that guy would have put the voice into TFM because he was all about voice, right? Like that was
there's
his.
no doubt about that. Yeah,
Yep.
he was voice command based.
and,
He would
and
have definitely
Yeah.
done that.
he did an amazing job. I seen videos and now
He really did.
I don't even watch the videos anymore because I get jealous. I'm like, man, I want to fly that. I want to fly that. I can't do it. Can't do it.
I wish I would have known you back then. I would have gotten you into that.
Is there
You
any
would have loved it.
videos? And then we got to go around. Is there any videos of him?
Yes, actually, I believe so. Josh, do you
Yeah,
know
he's
if
got a
those
whole
videos of him
channel
are still
of-
up? I think he's still got the channel.
Okay, I'll,
Yeah, the channel's still up, yeah.
IYP. I'll check it out.
Yeah, if you just search
Yeah.
for "It's
All
Your
right,
Plane,"
so-
on YouTube.
you'll be able to find it.
So let's get back to Andy here. So as far as where you are today, then Andy, you're, well, you didn't get that far yet. You were more talking about like what you've done and obviously the skill that you put behind
Yep.
this. The return value is phenomenal.
Yeah. Yep. And it's, I never thought I would be involved in some project that was going to do that.
And I mean,
Uh,
you're the only
because,
one in the world, Andy. The world. There's no other
Yep.
program like this anywhere.
Nope.
You don't even
I've
need
looked
Viagra to
up
get
and
your shit
down,
going.
left
'cause-
and right.
Oh my god.
I've looked up and down, left and right, side by side, all around in circles, and
There's just
could
nothing.
not find anything halfway close.
There's nothing out
that
there like
doesn't
that.
exist.
No. And it's amazing what you've done, and it just keeps me encouraged on what's next. What is next? What is he going to do next? Let's go to Josh. Josh, what do you think where we are today? Do you need Viagra, or has it got you going?
I think. Nah, it's really going. I'm good. No, like it's pretty extraordinary. I mean, coming from now, it'd be very interesting to see to have another group of people here, people like Scott Shea, people like Wagner, like people who like got him into this, because he started.
Oh yeah, they go
before
further back than we
IYP
do.
days, where it was even harder to do a lot of this stuff. And they use like FS Navigator, which is basically the Tramp predecessor.
the bad
and,
version of Tramp,
so-
like a bad version of Tramp, like a
No, actually.
No, a better version of Tramp. It was developed by the same guy, yeah, but it was more accessible. I briefly used it in Flight Simulator 2004 back in the day,
FS
and
Navigator.
it was. Yeah. And so yeah, it's we've come a long way from even just FS Tramp and freeware. Like I get every time I fly, I try, especially jets or whatever, I want to fly payware as much as possible. So it's
Yeah,
definitely definitely is transforming the way we fly.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, and I'm sure it's a lot more liberating to fly payware versus having difficulties with. Well, as you know, Josh, when you had those issues when we had that one event where you went way off course with the freeware.
Yeah, I
know.
think that had something to do with the Airac.
Yeah, that really wasn't because it was
like-
freeware.
could've
That's again, let's not, I don't want to throw
No.
freeware under the bus here because we all flew it, and I still fly it. Don't think I
Yeah.
don't, because I'll still jump in an Airbus 380 and fly that son of a gun like there's no tomorrow. Same with the 737 that Josh gave me, the TDS or whatever it is. I would
Yeah,
say
it's
That's a good plane to fly.
that thing
I
is
enjoy
probably the
flying.
best freeware 737 that you're going to find. So
I
now
wholeheartedly
Yeah.
agree.
let's go over to somebody that is new perspective, new view, new simmer. What do you think seeing accessibility inside of payware, Peyton? What does that tell you?
It's cool because it shows that us blind people can make advancements and fly things that usually only sighted people can. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
That's for sure.
Let me add one last thing. I shouldn't have did that because now I know I was going. Someone help me out here, Brandon. What were we talking about? And I was going to tell you something, and I said let's wait.
You were going to tell your thoughts about It's Your Plane.
Oh, as far as It's Your Plane, I think that this guy did a fabulous job, and I somewhat feel like he was also the inner eye of showing somebody like Andy that, hey, if that guy could do that, why can't I do this? Now, I don't know if Andy saw it that way, but I do feel like if you add it all together, everything just kind of connects in a way, virtually connects in a way. Because you got the Navigator, that was before It's Your Plane, FS Navigator. Then you got this guy comes out and does It's Your Plane. And then we get this mysterious guy that comes out of the darkness of nowhere and creates TFM. Now, I'm giving Jason as much, credit as well, because it was Jason and Andy both thought this together. Obviously, Andy's put in a lot of coding. Of course, Jason works; he's a full-time. It's hard to do stuff when you work.
I remember the conversation. That me, Jason, Declan, I think it was me, Jason, and Declan had on WhatsApp in a group about, basically talking about the first version of flight following and what that was, and that morphing into TFM.
I do remember that conversation on WhatsApp.
I think what I want to do,
Yep.
and let me check because someone's telling me that don't work, and I'm gonna verify. So I'm gonna go to github.com/legacy. How you spell?
No, it's talkingflightmonitor.com.
LEGACY.
Oh, talking flight monitor.com/legacy, right?
Yeah.
LE.
That's what it should be.
GitHub.com.
Yeah, but
Oh, it says not found.
Talking Flight Monitor. It's github.com/talkingflightmonitor/LEGACY legacy.
Yep.
Hold on.
Yep.
Let me see something here.
github.com.
What? That's dumb. How is that not possible?
Yeah, I've got nothing. Brent?
Hold on. How is that not possible?
Well, Brandon.
It should have been.
Yep.
Even when I go to http:// GitHub is GET, right? Get
Get
H-
GIT. No.
GIT.
Oh, get
GIT.
hub.com/talking flight monitor/ yeah, page not found.
Okay, so
But even when I do,
hold on a second. Hold on. Repositories.
talking flight. Even when I do github.com/talking flight monitor, it says page not found.
Yeah, hold on.
And he broke it, na 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 boo boo, and he broke it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah, okay, so that'll get you to the right place.
Hold let me.
There's dashes in between words. So it's talking dash flight dash monitor slash talking dash flight dash monitor dash legacy.
Ah. It's got all them dashes, y'all. I'll put it in the chat in a minute for people.
Yep.
So when you're on this
And-
legacy page, how would you download it from here? I'm just trying to do this because someone
You would
was
have-
asking.
You would need to. There's a download.
Would you click where it says
Let's
latest
see, there
commits?
should be a release. No, let's see. Hold on. Okay, so if you press H on your screen reader while you're on this page, you're gonna come
Yeah,
back
it says
down
talking
to
flight
a
monitor.
heading that says no.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, if you keep going past readme.md, you're gonna find a heading that says no longer supported. If you press H one more time, it'll say download,
Downloading. Yep.
downloading, and then it's got a link there. It says download latest release.
Download the latest version.
Yep, and that's, you click that link and it would let you download it.
So I hit download, and it took me to another page.
Yep.
Here we go. Huh. I hit download, but it's not.
Okay. Yeah, I hit download the latest version, and it took me to a bvipilots.com page that does not exist. So
Oh, that took me to
I don't
Microsoft Simulator X Steam Edition. What?
I have
Hello, folks.
no idea.
How's it going?
There we go. Now we got another person with us. We're getting ready to end here, but cool that you joined in at this time, because maybe you might know. Declan, if we get the download for the legacy version of TFM, can we put that on the BVI Pilots page? I'm trying to get it now, get the link at least to give you, but the link's not working for some reason.
Yeah, we can link to it on the PVI website, yeah.
So, guys, what I'll do is I'll work on getting that link straightened out with Andy and stuff, and then I'll throw it to Declan, and he'll gladly put it up there. I think it'd be cool to load that up and take a flight. And now I do want to say something about that, because if you're a new simmer and you're thinking, oh man, I'm going to go fly one of them, fly the Bonanza, or there's 3 planes it supports. The Bonanza, and what's the other 2, Andy?
Cherokee, I think.
Cherokee, the Bonanza.
Cherokee,
Was it one of
Piper,
them Cherokee?
Skyline.
Yeah,
The Bonanza,
Piper
the
Cub,
Cherokee,
Bonanza,
and
Cherokee,
one-
and Skylane.
Skylane, yep. So, but here's the thing, guys. If you're new and you're thinking you're going to go do that, I need to warn you. It's not as simple as just installing Legacy and just getting the plane and flying. I can't even remember the steps you got to take to make it work 100%, but I know you got to move some files around and do some other stuff. So it's not as easy as, 1, 2, 3 from what I can remember. Now, if someone knows a better way, then by all means, we'll gladly help you out. But from what I can remember, you have to move files into the directory, and you do got to buy the actual payware version of the Bonanza, of any of those, all three of those. They got to be the payware versions, or it's not going to work. Is that right, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, don't crack them.
Yeah,
I mean, we can't guarantee anything if you crack them.
Yeah, don't do a crack. My gosh, back when I was flying the Legacy stuff, there was this guy named Harold or something like that, and he was an older guy. Did you guys ever talk to him? He was like in his 50s, and he did this crack. And
name sounds familiar.
Remember, because he never did show back up, because he had emailed me, said he messed up his computer, and I mean, he really doodled his computer, because probably what he did, he went onto a torrent, thought, ooh, here's a crack, installed it, and just gave himself a nice little virus. So don't do that, guys. Just these planes aren't that expensive. They're really not. Just buy the damn thing. Just buy it. Or you're going to end up like this Arrow guy and emailing me trying to blame me that I didn't help him, and that I didn't give him heads up. I'm not going to give you a heads up. You want to go do crack,
oh my gosh.
you want to go crack something, go ahead. But hey, I'm not going to be the cause you split
Do
your
it at
wig.
your own risk.
Yeah. Split your own damn wig, because I'm not going to be the person to cause you to do it. But we'll work on that, and if we can find it, we'll get it up on the page for you. He'll gladly put it on there as a link. But I'll also add, there is no support for this. Don't contact me or Declan or Andy and say, hey man, I need help getting this going. I mean, if it's something simple, a question, sure, but if you need support, there's no support.
Well, not
for
even
Legacy.
that, because there's not even answering questions, because there's a link or a heading right before the download section and the building it section. If that's what you want to do, it says no longer supported.
Well, no, I mean, if
That's
it's
literally what it
if
means.
they want to ask me a simple question, I don't mind it. I'm not going to be that much of an ass about it. Like, if it's a simple question, I'll answer it. But support-wise, there's no support. Andy won't do it as a developer, and me and Declan, and whoever else won't do it as just someone that's seen this stuff. I don't got time. To be honest, I don't got time to do that shit. We do a lot as it is as well. So, yeah. So, Declan, how you doing, man? Before we go, and talk to you for a second on the live stream.
Oh, you're on stream, mate. Yeah, no, I'm doing fine. Yeah, I'm very busy.
I figured you're out there partying with all these fine chicks, and you don't want to share, so that's why you ain't been coming around.
Oh, that was the weekend. It's Monday now. It's going to be sensible on Mondays.
Oh yeah, Monday, back to work on Monday. I feel you, man.
Monday to Friday, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know. Speaking of that, my first day of college went really good. How did your first week back to college, your first day or week or whatever it is, how is it going for you?
Oh, it's busy, It's we have. Well, I'm now on the leadership bench for the college, so there's a lot more to do.
Oh yeah, you.
Basically, right. Yeah.
Yep. When I started IU, they've got this, and it's probably similar. There's a board that you can join, and I had joined it, and Yeah, I'm feeling those shoes just like you are. I think, Declan. Like, it's a lot of work outside of just the work in general for classes. Now you got to deal with all this other stuff, and it's like, man, how am I going to make this work? Where am I going to fit it in? But
don't get me wrong, you deal with some great people, but you deal with some idiots as well. It's like, seriously.
Yeah,
That's what I spend my time doing now.
I've learned too that being able to be a part of something like that, you get around people that have became very successful. So it's like you're not just talking to your regular, guru or whatever. Like, these people really know what the hell's going on, and so you learn stuff from people. And then the problem that I've found, even like just getting involved in it, you take that back to some people and they just don't pay attention. It's like, look, I'm giving you stuff that came from people that know what the hell's going on. Like, I'm not giving you my own little view. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of challenges being on a leaderboard. There really is, because you deal with some people that are, and maybe you've not had to do it yet, Declan, but in the beginning I've already dealt with a couple people that they're more worried about you being the leader and they're not. And it's like, that ain't what it's about. It's not about you not being where I am. You could have been, but you didn't. So let's forget about that and focus on the mainstream here of why.
Well, it's difficult because we only have so much money, especially. And one of the big things is who you give the money to, what communities you give it to, how you allocate it. And
yeah, exactly.
So haggling over that takes up a lot of time.
And
everybody wants some money for something.
And as being the leader of the stand board, it can get frustrating because people just want you to dish out money anytime. Because what we're doing now, I took stand from the one college I was at and moved it to the next one, and now it's anybody can join, not just, well, you got to be a part of IU, or you got to be a part of Ivy Tech, or a part of Purdue, or whatever. Anybody can join, but then when we get somebody, we've got funding available, but they think, oh, well, you've got $15,000-$20,000 and you can just help anybody anytime. No, you can't. We've got to break it up. We got to look at priority. What is the need for, and is it even worth giving you the funding or buying you a new note taker, if it's going to take away from other main stuff. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who just see it and are like, take advantage of it. It's great.
Yeah.
And you've really got to be careful because some people really need this stuff.
Short little bit.
Folks, I gotta pop out of here myself. My phone's dying.
Well, hold on, Brandon.
It's been great being on the video.
Hold tight and I'll end the video.
Okay.
All right, guys, so I'm going to end it here. I'm going to stay on the server, but I'm going to end it before Brandon leaves here. But yeah, it was a good video, you guys. I really appreciated it, all you guys coming on. And I know I can't tell you when. I've been asked a couple times. I don't know when, but me and Declan will be doing a shared cockpit again. Yes. I don't know when.
When we can get it to work. That's when.
That too, yeah.
And when we can find time in our schedule.
Yeah, time in the schedule and yeah, make it work out. So we'll let you know. You'll know. We'll let you know when you see us live and it says shared cockpit or whatever the hell we put it as. I don't know. But anyways, that's what it is. So y'all take care, and anybody that might be new, we always welcome new people to the BVI community. Just come in with the with your smarts on. Don't be silly. Don't be goofy, and don't land planes at 2,000 knots and wonder why you got a bad report. Don't do that neither. Oh, and one last piece of advice: don't rip off Uber driver because you left your dud card at home when really you didn't have a dud card because they were all duds. Don't do that neither. And yeah, stay away from Judge Judy. That's my best advice. I'm telling you.